Hi, I'm Marty Cohn, and welcome to episode 12 of Rotary Cares, an award-winning monthly show that tells you everything you want to know about Rotary and more. Rotary is a global network of 1.2 million neighbors, friends, leaders, and problem solvers that come together to make positive, lasting change in communities at home and abroad. Established over 110 years ago, Rotary now has over 35,000 clubs worldwide. Rotary's main motto is service above self, and we adhere to a four-way test, a nonpartisan, non-sectarian ethical guide for Rotarians to use for their business as well as their personal, professional lives. The test has been translated into over 100 languages, and it goes like this. Of all the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? In Brattleboro, we have two Rotary clubs. The Brattleboro Rotary Club meets every Thursday for lunch at the American Legion, and the Brattleboro Sunrise Rotary Club, which meets every Wednesday for breakfast, also at the American Legion. Our guests today are Allie Barry, who is the Club Service Avenue of Service Director for the Brattleboro Sunrise Rotary Club, and Stan Nowakowski, Community Service Avenue of Service Director for the Brattleboro Rotary Club. Welcome, Allie.
Welcome.
Thank you. I say that every month. It's getting longer.
That's a lot.
All right, so thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah,
First
sure.
question I got to ask is, how long have you been involved in Rotary?
Well, I joined the Brattleboro Sunrise Rotary Club at its inception. I was asked to join before it was a chartered club, and it's been since 1995, so about 23 years.
Wow, okay, so you started when you were a teenager. That's good to know.
Thank you.
Now, why did you join?
Well, I was a new business owner and in a new community. My hope was to meet other business owners, other movers and shakers in the community that wanted to do some really interesting networking, that wanted to give back to the community, and also even a place where I could feel I was a part of the community. So more of a family
Great.
mood and feeling. And with Rotary, I got all three of those things.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, so as you mentioned, the Brattleboro Sunrise Rotary Club that was established over 20 years ago was actually sponsored by the Brattleboro Rotary Club, but we'll talk about that another time. But one of the things that the club has been doing for so well is local community projects. What are some of the local community projects that the Sunrise Club has been involved in?
Well, over the years, we've done a variety of things. We like to partner with other nonprofits sometimes and combine efforts and, have our volunteer hours, go towards projects that are already in progress. We started, in 1996, one of the first big projects we did was we built a deck at the gathering place outside. So if you've ever been on that deck, you've been on the deck that we built in the late 90s. We also work with Project Feed the Thousands every year. We help pick up food for the drop-in center, and we make donations for Project Feed the Thousands. We have all kinds of...
Well, I think it's fair to say that it's a pretty good list in terms of how you've been involved. But recently, you've been involved in some cool projects.
Well, we do a lot of things every year, and some of those projects are still in the running. We have, notes would have been a really good idea, so I could have these right in front of me. There's no timeouts,
well,
right?
No, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Because let me feed you some of these things.
Feed it again.
Okay, Turning Point.
Okay, so every year our newest members get together and on a small budget, come up with a community project for that year that those newbies are going to spearhead. And this year, our new members came together and worked with Turning Points Network and built a pergola. in town with help of some volunteers during the United Way Day of Caring. So all in all, we all got together, and now there's this new shelter in downtown Brattleboro that we've all can say we've been a part of. And everybody gets to enjoy.
And you get to say pergola, which I think
I had to look it up. I had to look it up so I knew what it was.
No, and I also know there's a program called, I think, Brattleboro Edible or Edible Brattleboro or something like that, where they're involved with Turning Point, and they talk about the pergola, and they're already using it in terms of as a shelter.
Right.
The other thing that's really cool is every time I drive into Brattleboro, I see Rotary, at the Rotary. What are you doing there?
At the roundabout, you mean?
Yes, your gardening that you do.
Well, that's interesting. You should mention that.
Okay.
Okay, that's
why we're award winning.
We have a couple little plots of land that the town has let us play with. We've done some landscaping, and we maintain them every year. So if you're driving by, sometimes during the season, you might see some of us out there weeding and clipping things back. And we have a couple signs up that say donated and maintained by Brattleboro Sunrise Rotary. That's one of my favorite projects.
And it's a great project. I mean, I like it. Rotary at the Rotary. I think it's a good.
It has some symmetry to it. Yes.
It really does.
Yeah.
So how do you go about choosing the projects that you're going to work in? I mean, you mentioned that new members can bring projects, and I think that's great. I think you even have a budget to do that.
Right. Well, what happens is that, I mean, every time someone has an idea,
right,
they're free to bring that up to our group. It's a very open and fun and easy group, and we all want to do great things. So as we have ideas, we bring them to the group. The group discusses, and with viable options, we can pick some really great projects that not only do we have individual members in the club that are really excited by, but everybody can get behind, and we can. And it doesn't have a lot of. It doesn't have to follow a certain category of involvement. It's just usually it requires that one of us be a spearheader of the organization of the project.
Sure.
And we get as many volunteers as we need to make something happen, and a bunch of really good do-gooders get together, and we make big things happen, which is really cool.
And what's also, you all wear these, blue T-shirts.
I almost wore it. I'm sorry I didn't.
That's okay. Rotarian at Work. And, and one of the things that I associate with your club is your grilling talent. I mean, I think you've been at a lot of community events with your grill. We
like I said, we partner with other organizations. When they're having events, there's sometimes a shortage of hours. I want to say man hours, but there's women hours too. And we'll come in and we'll volunteer our time. We do grilling for events like the hospital's Touch a Truck every year. We've done grilling for the Groundworks Common, the Camp for a Common Cause, grilling for the relay, the cancer relay. Just whenever that tends to happen, we're asked by an organization, can you come in? And if that's not a weekend when we have another event, we're happy to do that, and it's kind of fun.
And it's a great community service. Now, the other thing when I think of our clubs jointly working together, I think of the disc golf.
Exactly.
What about that?
One of our newest and most exciting projects, I think. It's got everything. It didn't involve a lot of output of resources. It involved a lot of man hours. And so we all cleared land in the backwoods of Memorial Park. And now it started with a 9-hole course of disc golf, and now there's 18 holes. It's a free activity to the public. Nobody that wants to play has to pay anything. You bring your own discs, you go for a walk, it's animal friendly, it's family friendly, and it's a wonderful activity. We also have an annual tournament that we run jointly as two clubs getting together and finally doing something great together.
And not only that, it's something that at Living Memorial Park, which has there's been a lot of projects, and when we talk next with Stan, he's going to talk about a lot of projects Rotary has done at Living Memorial Park. But this was one where it's jointly managed, and I know that the residents in Brattleboro certainly appreciate. I know a lot of Rotarians. If you can throw a frisbee, you could play.
It doesn't require an awful lot of talent. I have even been able to do it. So.
Well, there you go. I'm finding it's about the same between disc golf and regular golf, but that's another whole story.
No, regular golf is an exercise in futility. This is actually management.
So are there, and as we head into the head into the winter, you're going to be involved in the food bank. Groundworks, right? The shelter. Are you involved with that?
We do an in-kind donation with Project Feed the Thousands every year. Is that what you mean? We pick up the food at all the drop-off locations. We'll pick up the food and bring it to the drop-in center. We also have some fundraisers where money is earmarked for donations to Project Feed the Thousands, so we give a monetary donation as well.
It's all good community stuff. All right, so let me ask you this. So looking back over your 20 years plus in Sunrise, what was your favorite project?
Well, I guess it's hard to say. I don't have a favorite project per se. I really like working anytime we get projects where kids are involved. I've really enjoyed that. We used to have a wonderful project, a literacy project, where we made personalized books for every first grader in the community, and we would each kid would fill out a form, and they would have their names and their teachers' names and their family and friends' names, and they would receive a personalized book that would get them excited about reading and learning with their name and their friends' names in it. That was one of the most enjoyable projects we ever did. We did it for a few years. I like the gardening work. I like not just working with my hands, but I really enjoy the touching with community. When people drive by, it's a regular happening that people will roll down their windows and thank us for the volunteering time or for the beautification, or just make really fun cat calls, which is also a treat for me.
Well, and again, I've seen you there, and I will.
I appreciate it.
I will make a note.
Don't hesitate.
Cat calls for
Don't hesitate
Allie.
to.
But on the literacy front, we recently, again, the two clubs working together, got a district grant, and we're helping the Early Learning Express at Winston Prouty to bring reading to the kids in Windham County. So.
Yeah, our club has always been really passionate about that mission and the education and the literacy and learning and children and anything involving children.
Yeah.
It's been a big focus for us.
Great. All right, last question for you.
Yep.
Now you got to think about 20 years, put your head on. What's the best thing for you about being a Rotarian?
It's an easy question to answer. When I started, I was really thinking networking and get my name out and be a new business owner and meet people and network. What it turned out to be when I joined Rotary was authentic camaraderie, affectionate family appreciation, just a mutual affection for each other. We are definitely, our morning club, we are a close family. Members come and go, but they stay our family. And honestly, the best thing about Rotary for me is that feeling of community. No question about it.
Thanks for taking the time for being on the show.
Sure.
We'll be right back with our guest, Stan Nowakowski. But first, this brief message from Rotary International about the power of volunteerism. We'll be right back.
I'd never fix a computer.
I'd never been outside of Seattle.
Never even thought about being a volunteer.
Until the Rotary Club gave me an opportunity.
At our high school, Rotary Club supports a program called Computers for the World.
We rebuild older computers and then personally take them to places where people can't afford them.
We've taken computers to Mozambique,
Lima, Mexico.
And in my hometown in Russia.
It's a big effort and everybody contributes. The students, the teachers, and the Rotary volunteers.
We get real-world experience that we need to be successful.
I've learned so much just by volunteering.
Computers for the World is one of many Rotary programs that rely upon volunteers of all ages from the community.
It's my way of making a positive impact on the lives of others.
It's a great example of the power of volunteerism.
You should volunteer. The world is counting on you.
Welcome back to Rotary Cares, the monthly award-winning show that demystifies Rotary International. Our guest is Stan Nowakowski, Community Service Avenue of Service Director for the Brattleboro Rotary Club. Welcome, Stan.
Thank you, Marty. What a great day.
Okay, now Stan, you have a distinction. You did such a good job on episode 2 that we've brought you back. So thanks for coming back on the show.
Thank you for inviting me back.
All right. So just to review for some folks, how long have you been involved in Rotary?
I joined Rotary in 1999. Art Greenbaum was a neighbor of mine, longtime Rotarian. We were, of course, having a cocktail at Christmas time, and said, have you ever thought about joining Rotary? Joined, glad I did. Took a position years later as a treasurer for a couple of years, and for the past, I don't know, 5 or 6 years I've been doing community service.
Great.
And I really have enjoyed that.
Great, great. All right, now, so we know that the Brattleboro Rotary Club was formed in 1950, so that would make us 67, 68 years ago. Again, with that history, the Brattleboro Rotary Club has been involved in some local community projects over the years. Can you tell us some of those projects?
Sure. We've probably done the most projects at the Living Memorial Park. We've assisted them in the water park to provide activities for children. We've gone and built a toy train, which kids can play on. If everybody knows that there's a ski hill there, that many residents, as our first opportunity to go skiing, we found out that they were leasing the snow guns at an expense, so we decided that we would one year purchase the snow guns to benefit any who wanted to ski. There's a Kiwanis shelter there that required a deck rebuilding. We assisted in that. And actually at the hockey center, the Withington, I believe it's called, there was a need for bleachers and a scoreboard, and we partnered with the Brattleboro Hockey Club on raising funds for them and participating with that together to assist that community project, which involved high school hockey, youth hockey, free skating. So it was an opportunity to participate in an activity, but also a resource that's available to everybody at probably no cost, and we funded it.
Fantastic. So now we haven't stopped there. We are always looking and doing new community projects. What are some more recent examples of community projects?
The hospital took over some properties over in their compound, and they required renovation of them. So we brought in Rotarians to do things like drywall and cleaning and carpentry. I have none of those skills, so I cleaned. And so there's an ability to have everyone participate to the extent that you have the skills to do it. One of the projects we're doing now is with the Vermont Food Bank. The Vermont Food Bank provides food to all of Vermont, but specifically to Windham County. And we volunteer one Saturday a month. We bring in 4 or 5 Rotarians, and we assist them in preparing food to distribute to local people who need it. We've been doing this now this year. We've made a commitment to do it next year. Over the course of the meetings, we've had 20, 30 different Rotarians participate in this. So it gives them an opportunity to do a community activity without heavy lifting. And there are some of us, like me, who don't have those carpentry, drywall, electric skills. We've recently got involved in a painting project at the Brattleboro Retreat.
Right.
There was a need to repaint this garage-type open area, kind of like a large carport. And over a number of weeks, we participated and painted and spruced up this carport, and it was a benefit to everybody.
Great, fantastic. And the other thing that you've really spearheaded is our work with the overflow shelter. Yeah,
the seasonal overflow shelter is something that starts in November and ends sometime in April. It houses as many as 33 residents on an overnight basis. These residents need to be fed, so we arrange for a meal for them. In fact, our first meal is coming up on the Monday after Thanksgiving, November 26th, and we're going to do a Thanksgiving theme. Mm-hmm. So we have 2 of our Rotarians who are actually baking a turkey and then other Rotarians are participating with fixings. And yes, we will have pumpkin pie.
Pumpkin pie? How are you going to have pumpkin pie?
Let me tell you how we're going to have pumpkin pie, Marty. We're going to make pumpkin pie.
Unbelievable.
And in fact, I know that we just completed making 100 pumpkin pies, and they're available for sale.
That's all they have to do is contact info@BrattleboroRotaryClub.org. info@BrattleboroRotaryClub.org.
Thank
all
you,
right.
Marty.
So we have that project. That's at the Winston Prouty Center. That's where the overflow shelter is located. But we're also talking about doing some other things with at the Winston Prouty.
Yeah, they have some old hiking trails that are available to the public, but they really haven't been maintained. So we've had a preliminary conversation with Winston Prouty, also with Brattleboro Sunrise, of us doing a community project where we're all going to participate together. It's going to give us an opportunity to work with other Rotarians in Brattleboro, the Sunrise Club, and prepare these trails for the use by the public.
Now, again, the beauty of all these projects is, it's really a full range. We also did something recently with the Connecticut River. We helped clean.
Yeah, the Connecticut River Consortium, they were doing some cleanup on the Hinsdale Bridge between Brattleboro and Hinsdale, and it was an effort to clean up stuff that has been dumped there over many, many years, and it was our opportunity just to clean it up. Sure, used tires and garbage and everything else, but now it's more of a safe place to go for hiking. You ride by it, it looks nice, and aesthetically it looks a lot better.
So, same question that I asked Allie. How do we choose projects? How do we do all these things?
Well, we're fortunate to have a number of Rotarians throughout the community who are involved in a lot of organizations. So they bring to us their ideas. The idea could be as simple as, we need help doing this. It may be they have a project they need some fundraising for. But we encourage those groups that need physical help doing something. If we've got the skills and the members to do it, then let us have the opportunity to do that.
And what I really like is, you were mentioning when I first joined the Brattleboro Rotary Club, Art Greenbaum, we were doing lockers down beneath what is now the River Garden, Strolling of the Heifers. And Art, brought all the tools, and he brought this nail gun. And he says, "Marty, have you ever used a nail gun?" And I said, "Hell no." He says, so he handed it to me, and he says, "Well, let me tell you how to do it." Well, while he was saying that, I inadvertently pulled the trigger, and the nail came out, and it ricocheted all over. And Art took the gun away from me, and he says, "You shall clean." And that was, so but still, he found something for me to do. And I think that's what's really neat, is anyone who wants to volunteer, we can always find some part of the project to do.
That's the challenge. The challenge is to find an activity or a project that our members can participate in. Sometimes it does involve just painting, like the carport at the retreat. Other times it involves other things. That's why I particularly like the seasonal overflow shelter, because I figure everyone can cook. And if you can't cook, you can buy some rolls, you can buy a gallon of milk, you can buy a gallon of cider, and you can participate with the feel of contributing to for people who just need your help. There's an opportunity to interact with those nightly residents, and you can see that they are very appreciative of the fact that not only our organization, but many organizations participate in this and provide a worthwhile service.
So, as you're looking over all the community projects, is there a favorite project for you?
Yeah, I like the overflow shelter the best, only because it involves me seeing other Rotarians participate and then helping a community need. Yes, I do like the food bank because I know it helps a lot of people in the community. But with the seasonal overflow shelter, we have a direct relationship, a direct effect upon those residents needing our support that night. So we have an opportunity to give back and have some interaction with our fellow Rotarians. So it gives us something to really be proud of.
Fantastic. Well, Stan, I want to thank you for coming on the show. I want to thank you for all that you're doing, and I want to thank our guests, Allie Barry and Stan Nowakowski, and a shout out to Sunrise Rotarian Kevin Yeager, who's doing all the magic behind the cameras. Thanks also to BCTV for recognizing Rotary Cares and giving us this wonderful award as the Nonprofit Member of the Year. We're very proud of that. And a special thanks to Brian Bashaw, who helps us bring this show to you. If you have any questions, concerns, or even ideas for the show, you can send them to info@BrattleboroRotaryClub.org, info@BrattleboroRotaryClub.org. I'm Marty Cohn. Thanks for watching.